that. John Calipari says don't foul. This one's in the book. Auburn played like a team, desperate for a win, and they blow out the Razorbacks tonight.
We had no chance today. No chance. You know what? This stuff happens. They were desperate, and they played that way.
They didn't recruit me as hard as the other guys they wanted to, so I give them that. So I treat this game personally, you know what I'm saying?
Razorbacks have not been a great defensive team this season.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. With Colton Little and Ty Richardson, this is The Morning Rush.
Oh, lessons learned and they sure run deep. They don't go away and they don't come cheap.
Well, do you think this Arkansas basketball team learned a lesson after a 22-point loss on the Plains? The Jungle in Auburn. Didn't go according to plan as the Arkansas Razorbacks fall to 2-1 in the SEC. And no, it's not a sky is falling moment for Auburn. It could have been. They had fallen into an 0-3 hole. Nepo Pearl and company got a big-time win against John Calipari and the Razorbacks. I didn't notice. I think it was a Whole Hog Sports article that showed a picture. I just assumed Bruce Pearl was doing his thing in Atlanta with TNT, but I guess he was in attendance for that shellacking that took place in Neville Arena Saturday night. Not a game where there's a lot of good that can be pulled out of it. Cal was very, very clear after the game. Burn the tape. We're going to move on from this, and not really surprised by that whatsoever. And that's the largest. Tell me on this. I believe it's Greg's largest point differential loss of the season. Mm-hmm. I don't think they've had a loss that much. So again, 95-73. We're reacting to it here on a Hot Take Monday. Just a reminder for everyone, if you missed this last week, Tommy is out today for the funeral of his father-in-law, Jack Lucas. So just keep the Lucas family, keep all the friends and family of Jack in your prayers this morning. He'll be back, I think, tomorrow with us, but I wanted to make sure and mention that here this morning. Hey, we are brought to you by Mock Legal Solutions. Jackie and her team can help you not only in Arkansas, but now in Oklahoma. They've got a Sallisaw office to help out Sequoia and LaFleur County. They do the family law. They do dog bite cases, car wrecks, slip and falls, and more. Go to mocklegalsolutions.com. And I know that not everyone can afford just $5,000 up front. So they offer payment plans and flat fees to help you out in these trying times. mocklegalsolutions.com. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price. So a lot of things went wrong in this game on Saturday, and you heard Tom Hart there in the television broadcast in the open that Colton put together. Arkansas is not a great defensive team. They are 15th in threes given up in the conference out of 16 teams in conference play. They're 14 out of 16 in overall defense in conference play. They have had a lot of success offensively at times this season, but that is still something I know Cal and the rest of the assistant staff are very, very disappointed in their showing, because you got to remember they got 87 to a bad offensive Ole Miss team, Colton. Mm-hmm. And I kind of thought, it's like, man, if you give up 80 or 90 to Auburn, you're probably going to lose this game. And that's exactly what took place Saturday night.
Look, my hot take this morning is that if you don't shore up this defense, we're going to have the inverse of what we saw last season in our conference slate, which is where you get off to a really hot start, which you might do this year in conference play. You've got some of the more easier matchups coming into Bud Walton Arena in the next couple of weeks, and you've got some of the tougher games out of the way already with Tennessee and Auburn. So there's a little bit of a lull here in the schedule, but if you don't shore up your defense, Ty, we're going to see a fall off towards the end of the SEC conference slate, and that's going to really hurt you when it comes to seeding and in the SEC tournament, as well as the NCAA tournament. I don't think that they're at risk of losing any type of steam that they had moving on towards the big dance in March, but they won't last very long if they can't shore up their defense, because this was Auburn's best performance, no doubt. You got Ole Miss's best performance, but you have to remember, when you have Coach Cal as your coach, there's a huge target on your back. He's overlooked lots of Keyshawn Halls in his day. Lots of Keyshawn Halls that are playing college basketball right now. There'll be plenty of personal vendettas against Calipari and the Razorbacks. So you have to be on your A game every night. You can't come out there and be asleep halfway into the game and then come out and say, hey, we're down by 15 rebounds. Should we start trying now? I guess so.
And just to put in perspective, because I wonder, it's like, okay, will Arkansas make a run in the second half? Will this game be closer than it was? Well, Auburn led by at least 20 points from basically the 16-minute mark on at the tail end of the basketball game. The closest Arkansas cut it to was 19. So Auburn had this game locked and squared away for probably 30, 35 minutes-ish of this basketball game. So it was an issue that Arkansas really didn't cut into the lead or anything else. And defensively, you mentioned Keyshawn All, which I thought the whole time it was the Pettiford kid, 8 points, that didn't really do that much. That was going to be the one that ripped you up. But Keyshawn hits 4 of 5 from the three-point line and pours in, again, 30-plus points, 30 points, I should say, during this basketball game, and also 5 assists as well. So he's the lefty kid that was just ripping you up in that game. More thoughts on Arkansas basketball coming up. Again, Lewis Automotive Group hotline is open for you at 877-377-6963. Again, heading into this game.
Well, we have one job. Ruin their weekend.
Unfortunately, you weren't able to accomplish that. So, again, we can come back to Arkansas basketball in just a bit. There's college football playoff stuff to discuss. Indiana and Kirk Cignetti move on, and not just move on, they pile drive Oregon on Friday night. You also had some great NFL playoff games over the weekend. It was awesome, and that's our opening drive this morning.
Going towards the end zone. Parkinson! What a catch! And a touchdown!
Williams throwing, and it's caught for the touchdown by DJ Moore. Moving guys around. Fires to the end zone, and it is broken up. The Bears win it in a crazy one.
It's intercepted. The game is over as Paul Bishop gets it off the rebound.
Little stretcher.
Who's thrown it before? Going deep to Caffrey. Touchdown, 49ers. He's got it to the end zone.
This is the opening drive.
How about Hunter Henry last night? Front center. Patriots move on as they defeat the Los Angeles Chargers in New England. In still Gillette Stadium, right?
Yes.
I think that's
against his former team?
Yeah, against his former team. So there's quite a storyline there. That is the game that was Sunday Night Football. As far as the other games goes, Josh Allen wins his first road playoff game of his career as they defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars 27-24. They will now travel to Mile High to take on Sean Payton, Bo Nix, and the Denver Broncos. I don't know what that line's going to be set on the Bet Saracen app, but I would expect that that's going to be a heck of a football game. So that was a great one. I mean, when you look up and down this list, the Indians, I don't know how tonight's game is going to shake out. I mean, really last night was and I say worst game. It was still close. 16-3 is not like a lopsided defeat. Mm-hmm. But Colton, a lot of these playoffs games were tremendous this weekend.
Yeah, well, Saturday night during the post-game show, after we got absolutely slaughtered, I'd kind of lost all interest in Razorback basketball at that point, just trying to take the calls and see what else was going on, because like Coach Cal said, that wasn't the Razorback basketball team that showed up to Auburn, Alabama on Saturday. So I was interested in literally anything else. So I log on to the TV there and there at the KAKF studios at ESPN 99.5. I pull up the Amazon Prime and I load up Chicago versus Green Bay. I'm kind of watching the game passively as we're doing the post-game show. I leave and it's 21-6 Green Bay. I come home and your Green Bay Packers, Ty, just could not get it done. They pissed down both their legs. Caleb Williams is so much better than I was giving him credit for to start his career. He made some throws that maybe a handful of guys in the entire National Football League can make, and it was an incredible comeback on Saturday night.
I think it was 4th and 8 was probably the throw of not just the game, but maybe of the weekend. I'm going to be honest, I thought Green Bay would win at the end.
Moving guys around. Fires to the end zone, and it is broken up. The Bears win it in a crazy one.
There was not a single Chicago Bears fan that thought they had won that game until the clock hit 0 and that ball hit the ground. Every Chicago fan, either in attendance or at Soldier Field or watching that game, because they'd seen Aaron Rodgers do it before, they had seen so many things go against him. I know that really Chicago's been the cardiac kids. I think that was their 6th come-from-behind victory this season under Ben Johnson, which Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur is quickly becoming the best rivalry coaches-wise in sports. I mean,
and to be quite frank with you, I kind of enjoyed beating Matt LaFleur twice a year.
And we get mad at coaches for having vendettas or this if they end up losing. If you're going to say something like that in the offseason, like Johnson said, if you're going to have these quick handshakes like we've seen, these are two guys that don't, at least on the surface, like each other. I kind of like the animosity that John Calipari and Rick Pitino shared.
Love it.
Before that matchup in Providence in the round of 32 this last season. Again, there's friendships like Barnes and Cal that are going to be till the end of time. And then there's rivalries. And I don't know if LaFleur is going to last in Green Bay. I don't know what that organization is going to do. But I know I really like that rivalry. And Chicago and Green Bay are the oldest rivalry in sports. And now you've got these two coaches that seemingly hate each other. And I think it's fantastic. So that happened this weekend. My hot take from the NFL slate, and maybe I'm just making too much out of what Chicago's been able to do and some of these come from behind wins. I think they might go win the Super Bowl. Wow. And I know that you still got the Rams and the setup for them, but they get them at home at least. That's a big deal if you're Chicago playing at Soldier Field rather than having to travel out and play them in Los Angeles. I know that the 49ers and Seahawks, you got a divisional game for this next round, but without George Kittle, who ruptured his Achilles, I just don't know how viable San Francisco is. And I know Sam Darnold's had a heck of a year, and Seattle's been great. I just don't know if I'm going to trust a QB, I think I'm going to trust Caleb Williams over Darnold. Now, that's assuming they could beat Stafford, who, by the way, what a game that was. A lot of people thought, including myself, thought Carolina would just get pulverized by the Rams. Instead, it was 34-31, and Stafford had to have some heroics late to win that football game. So, again, to sum up the NFL weekend, what a weekend. Hopefully, Pittsburgh and Houston end it tonight in a quality way. But if you took time to watch the National Football League this weekend, barring that you were a fan of one of the teams that lost, I would guess, Colton, you weren't disappointed.
Well, and if Pittsburgh doesn't pull it out tonight at home against Houston, that's probably the last of all the old guard quarterbacks that are left in the playoffs that we're used to. No Mahomes this year. Brady's retired. We're not going to see Aaron Rodgers anymore. It's all this new young quarterback resurgence right now. So that's really exciting to watch, and I'm looking forward to it. I think the Patriots looked really, really good last night. They have such a good defense as well to complement Drake May and the way that they run the football there in New England. I really like Mike Vrabel. I don't know if you saw him, but at the end of the game last night, to celebrate the game-winning sack there at the end of the game, he goes up and headbutts the player that just made the sack without a helmet on.
Yeah,
he's a maniac. So, I mean, I like that in a coach, and I think that it's I'm really looking forward to that. But you mentioned Matt LaFleur. He may not last very much longer in Green Bay. Yeah. He might end up down there in Miami, in South Beach, because we just hired their vice president, GM, one of those hoity-toity positions they have in those offices up there. We just hired him to come down to Miami and be our general manager. So maybe a little LaFleur time in Florida.
John Harbaugh is going to have quite a pick of the litter when it comes to NFL jobs. He's at the top, I assume, of everyone's list.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And there's some good jobs that are open right now currently or could become open if Matt LaFleur gets let go. Ryan and Prairie Grove texting in, the NFL is keen. I don't know. I haven't seen any of the ratings. I don't know if that's going to come out today or tomorrow, but I would guess based on the outcomes of some of these games that they were very, very high. I know, like, you had a spectacular Thursday night finish between Ole Miss and Miami. I'm going to guess because the Indiana-Oregon game was a blowout, there weren't going to be as many people that watch it. But how about the upcoming setup we have for this Monday night? So a week from today at 6:30, you'll have the Miami Hurricanes playing a home game in Miami against Indiana. Here's another hot take for you this morning. Indiana is going to have more fans than Miami will in this game a week from today.
The largest alumni base in the country.
I know that sounds stupid for a lot of you, but if you watch the playoff games leading up to it, and if you think about the turmoil and just the pitiful nature of their football program over the years, first off, tickets are absurd. Like, to get in the door, it's $3,500. Good seats are like $10,000. So I feel bad for a lot of the upper Midwest fans of the Hoosiers that don't have that money. I don't have that money. I can't spend $3,500 on a ticket, much less $10,000. I still think somehow, some way, Indiana is going to outnumber Miami. And what a spectacular capper on the college football season it could be if the team, I got to go back and look this up, but I believe Indiana had like the 40th best recruiting class in all of college football. I don't know where their transfer portal class ranks, but what Kurt Cignetti is showing everyone is that despite so many, like, when you look at Oregon's recruiting class, you look at Ole Miss. I know you don't think of Ole Miss as one, but they had a phenomenal transfer portal haul. And then you think about also Miami's as well. Those are really, really good recruiting class. Top 10, top 15. Indiana's is not close. So that's a fascinating just kind of case study of college football and how you can win today in 2026.
And Indiana's only going to get stronger and stronger because now Mark Cuban's like, I'll blank check it, whatever. You give it to me, I'll sign it. I won't even look at it. He was probably a little bit more of a stickler these last two classes that he's probably been involved in there in Indiana and Bloomington and helping bankroll that roster. But now that he's seen Curt Cignetti lead this team all the way to the national championship game, undefeated, unblemished on their record, and the darlings of the college football world right now, I'd imagine he'd be willing to let it go a few $1 million here or there. That's pocket change to him.
And
so
now,
Indiana's going to get even stronger. Now, my one hot take is I am tired of the fake Nick Saban act. I like Curt Cignetti. I really, truly, honestly do. I think he is one of the best stories to come out of college football in a very, very long time. But we've already seen this whole not smiling when I'm up by 49 points thing. We've already seen this whole, I have a scowl on my face the entire time the game is going on. And I know that coaches are super, super intense. We've already seen that with Coach Nick Saban. And his teams are playing the exact same way as those joyless murder ball Saban teams of the late 2000s.
Are you saying you want to hear more of this?
I'm really not thinking about the next game. I'm thinking about cracking open a beer.
Hey, you know what? Why not?
Sam
Steal
Pittman.
a page from the Pittman playbook. That's right. I didn't know he was a religious zealot from the Church of Pittman. That's a good play. Occasionally to do one of those because it makes it look like he's a human being and not just a machine. And I think that people like that, that's just my personal take. Hate it or love it, I really don't care. I think that he is trying way, way, way too hard to be somebody he's not. Because I've seen all across Twitter former players like he was never like this when he was at Alabama. And I know he's in a subservient role, and you're not necessarily allowed to go out there and be as demonstrative.
You have to act differently as the head coach.
But
versus
look at me and tell me that you think that it's not a little gimmicky.
It is.
Thank you.
You're correct on that. All right, that is your opening drive here this morning. It's brought to you by the Fence Man. I know that Sean, Brandon, the entire team there can help you out. River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, 479-782-3936. They build custom one-of-a-kind fences, whether it's residential, commercial, high security, automatic gates. They can help you with the job that's big, small, it doesn't matter. For a free quote, go to thefencemanar.com or give them a call at 479-782-3936. 3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. So, a couple texts coming in here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Indiana is steamrolling teams in the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see much difference in the national championship game a week from today. Miami might have the best two-way line of scrimmage in all of college football when you look at what they possess on the defensive line and offensive line. I know that one of their best players trying to play in that game couldn't go. Don't know what his status is going to be for Monday night. But that has been a strength. I mean, you're winning games with Carson back. And just to be honest, when you look at the two comparison-wise, Mendoza just dog walks Carson Beck. And I know Beck's got the championship pedigree, but it was more the old Alabama way with Georgia, with defense and running the football. He's had to maybe do a little bit more, but he still relies heavily on his defense. Malachi Toney is probably, I know Mendoza won the Heisman Trophy, but that's the game changer in this game. If you stop him, Indiana's going to win the football game. If he runs roughshod, then Miami's got a chance to win. Either way, I'm really excited. And this is not a regional game at all.
No.
There's no, you don't have an SEC team. We talked about this statistic last week. First time in 3 straight years they haven't had an SEC team represented since all the way back in I think it was 2000 to 2002. And so it's been quite a number of years since you've had a situation like this. But if I'm an SEC football fan, I'm excited about this game just because of the impact. And just to pull it back here to Fayetteville, like if Indiana can do it, why not us? I know that's a phrase that the Boston Red Sox use so many times in 2004 when they were going up the Yankees down 3-0 in the ALCS, but that has to be the approach of Ryan Silverfield, Hunter Yurachek, and everyone else within our athletics department and our football program. It's like, if you can do it in Bloomington, Indiana, you can do it in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
That's the hope you definitely have to sell. But what I'm hoping for on next Monday Night, Ty, is that this is like, this is 2006 USC Texas in the Rose Bowl. This is what you're hoping for, is that it's one of those games that comes down to the wire, that gets ingrained in college football lore forever because of these two awesome stories, the resurgence of the U, and then Indiana at the pinnacle of where their football program has ever been, with an awesome story in the Heisman winner, Kurt Signetti. You really hope that it comes down to one final play. And if I had to choose right now, I think Miami's got a lot more talent and size on the line of scrimmage, and that's what matters in these games. We'll see the trench warfare favoring the Hurricanes Monday night.
I mentioned my other hot take that the Bears would, after you watch the games this weekend, I know we didn't see Seattle or Denver play because they're first seeds and they're the bye. Do you have a change of opinion who you think is going to go not just to the Super Bowl, but win it all this year?
I don't think that you're too far off when you have the Bears in the Super Bowl. I really don't trust Sam Darnold. Like I'm kind of with you on that, but at the same time, Mike McDonald and that Seattle defense is really good, and they've gotten the better.
Like they'll
teams.
beat San Francisco this weekend,
yes,
but past that,
it's funny. Have you seen the thing about San Francisco? How their stadium and their practice facility is next to that electrical substation, and that's why they've had all these injuries for so many years. All the high frequency amplifications and amplitude of electrical waves are getting inside the San Francisco 49ers tendons and their muscles and weakening them.
Is that like a real
That's
thing?
a real conspiracy theory that's making the waves right now. I'll show you the research during the break.
There's some other rumors that I guess we might have to get into as well throughout the morning here on a Hot Take Monday. Hey, luckily Arkansas is back in action at home. You're not having to travel this Wednesday night when you take on the South Carolina Gamecocks. And single-game basketball tickets are still available right now. You go to ArkansasRazorbacks.com. If you can't go on Wednesday night, for example, I just got a text from my friend Billy that was offering up tickets for Wednesday night. If you can't go, make sure you're transferring them to a Finn, or if you need tickets again, go to ArkansasRazorbacks.com. Gamecocks, not a great basketball team. Maybe some of you won't go. We'd love to help you out here. You can send them up to us, and we will make sure they get used. As soon as we talk about tickets and stuff, it immediately goes off. So again, ArkansasRazorbacks.com for tickets. And again, make sure you're transferring those and make sure there's butts and seats inside of Bud Walton Arena all season long. What did John Calipari think about his team's 22-point defeat to the Auburn Tigers? We'll hear from Cal next here on a Hot Take Monday.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
They didn't recruit me as hard as the other guys they wanted to, so I give them that. So I treat this game personally. You know what I'm saying?
We have no chance today. No chance.
You're listening to The Morning Rush. If you're going through... Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
All right, you're all set with the coat and scarf. Bundling up?
Yeah, it's freezing out there.
Want to bundle up some wins?
Wins?
It's the $5 bundle from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. It's Powerball with Power Play, Lotto, and a free Natural State Jackpot ticket, all for just $5.
Wait. 3 chances for 3 jackpots for $5? Bundle me up.
Ask for the $5 bundle today. Must be 18 or older to play. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Few things in life are more important than showing up. Whether you show up for your family, friends, or teammates, it doesn't hurt to bring a plate of their favorite beef dish. Together, we bring more. Find your next crowd pleaser at BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com. Brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council, courtesy of BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com. Tom Murphy is brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
Again, guys, it can't be worse than being a Dallas Cowboys fan and a Razorback fan.
This is The Morning Rush.
2026 is looking bright at Rath Auto Resources. Celebrate by driving away in one of our road-ready certified pre-owned cars, reconditioned and backed by a comprehensive warranty. With our award-winning customer service, non-commissioned sales team, and painless pricing, we take the hassle out of the car buying experience, so you can focus on more important things, like that new gym membership, quitting smoking, or that other thing. Ring in the new year with a new ride and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith. RathAutoFortSmith.com.
Dozy Place has been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years, and now they're offering smoked prime rib on the weekends.
It's a limited supply, so get your reservations in early. Try one of their delicious appetizers or your choice of drinks from the area's largest selection of wine, beer, and liquor. Doe's Eat Place open Tuesday through Thursday 5 to 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Follow them on Facebook for more upcoming features and events. Call 479-784-9111 for Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street in Fort Smith.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
All right, you're all set with a coat and scarf. Bundling up?
Yeah, it's freezing out there.
Want to bundle up some wins?
Wins?
It's the $5 bundle from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. It's Powerball with Power Play, Lotto, and a free natural state jackpot ticket, all for just $5.
Wait. 3 chances for 3 jackpots for $5? Bundle me up.
Ask for the $5 bundle today. Must be 18 or older to play. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hotline, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
You've been dreaming of that new workshop, horse barn, or extra storage space? Now let Sutherland's make it a reality. Hi, this is Jeremy, sales manager at Sutherland's. From deluxe post frame packages to custom horse sheds, we have it all. And the best part, you don't have to lift a finger. Our expert crews handle the entire installation. Quality you can trust and service that's been family owned since 1917. 4 stores in Arkansas: Fort Smith, Huntsville, Hot Springs, and Stuttgart. Visit Sutherland's.com or stop by your local store today for a free estimate. No matter the project, we're here to help, because at Sutherland's, home starts here.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Wood, no hits him. Allen has a wide open man. It's Childs. He's loose. He scores. Childs, please.
Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks.
ARKNSAS.
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush.
Go Hog.
We had no chance today. No chance.
No shot for Arkansas in the jungle as they fall to the Auburn Tigers and Nepo Pearl by 22 in this basketball game. Now, again, the loss is a big deal, but I think one of my more concerns is, hey, Carter Knox sustained an injury, a hip pointer. Only played, I guess, 7 minutes in that basketball game on Saturday. Cal kind of gave an update on his status.
They said, I think they told me hip pointer when they fell on him. I don't know if it was a play at half court where he got fouled and no call, or if it was one on the other side of the baseline. I don't know. But he got hit pretty good from what I hear.
You don't necessarily need him Wednesday night against South Carolina. I think you can still win a home game against the Gamecocks without Carter Knox. But this upcoming game against the Georgia Bulldogs on Saturday, which are, I would say, one of the more surprising teams in the Southeastern Conference under Mike White, that's I think a 3 o'clock game. You're going to need him then. And I think one of the reasons you saw Isaiah Sealy get in there late, Colton, is because if Carter can't go, we're going to see Isaiah come Wednesday night.
Yeah, he got his first minutes in SEC action this past weekend for the native, the Springdale native hometown kid Isaiah Sealy.
Yep.
Got a couple points, had a bucket right there. So didn't just get out there and just have to have his jersey clean with a little bit of sweat stains. He got some action, got into it. So he'll hopefully have to do that a little bit more. But you'd like to see Carter Knox come back to full strength because he started the season on the injury list and missed the first game and was dealing with some lingering injuries when they went to East Lansing to play Michigan State. So you like to see Carter Knox come back and be healthy because Georgia's a really physical team. And so you'd like him to be able to match that physicality because that's one of the things that Carter Knox brings. He's a really big dude, thick in the upper body, and he's able to be really powerful once he gets the ball and gets downhill. So he brings a little bit of extra physicality. He's a really good rebounder as well. So you definitely want him to be back out there grabbing boards and making shots from the wing position.
Yeah, he is a guy that you definitely need when it comes to just this season, what he can be for Arkansas overall this year. All right, continue on your Hog update. Hunter Henry, big touchdown for him last night as the New England Patriots ended up moving on. Was happy to see Hunter. By no means a Patriots fan, but anytime that you can see former Razorbacks end up scoring, especially the National Football League, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Playoffs as well, big time for Hunter Henry.
Yeah, he is really. I mean, you think about his career. Especially against his former team that you brought up earlier. We're going on a decade, right?
Yeah.
Final year at Arkansas, junior season in 2015. Mackey Award winner. Hunter's a guy that knew he was always going to play in the National Football League. Obviously, his father, Mark, who's pastor at Fellowship in Little Rock, played at Arkansas, All-Southwest Conference, offensive lineman, I think late 70s, early 80s. But to see him and now a part, he had a good relationship with Mac Jones, and to him have that same with Drake May, who's one of the best young quarterbacks in the league, that could be a special bond for years to come in New England and Foxborough.
Well, it just goes to show how good and just how talented Hunter Henry is. He's been able to go through multiple system changes with different coordinators from his time at New England, and also when he was with the Chargers, there wasn't a lot of stability there before the Harbaugh era also. So Hunter Henry has always found his way into the starting lineup, always found his way into the end zone with the ball in his hand. He's carved out, like you said, a decade-long career in the NFL. There's not a lot of Razorbacks that can really say that. So he's up there amongst some of the greatest Razorbacks to ever play in the NFL. Whether or not that ends up where he'll be enshrined in Canton, probably not. Doesn't have those type of numbers. Not really that type of player, but we'll always remember him here in Fayetteville, and we'll always remember him as a Razorback, and he has definitely done a lot of really good things, and it really helps when you have Drake May tossing you the ball. He is a stud.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. All right, that is your Hog update this morning. Just a reminder, you can always listen to us wherever you go on the Hit That Line Now app, which is powered by Taco Bell. I always get it on road trips. I actually got it this weekend.
I did too. They brought back some old menu items. The quesarito, I gobbled up 2 of those in like 4 minutes.
And I think the volcano one is coming back as well. So whether you're craving something cheesy, saucy, or crunchy, Taco Bell has you covered. It's the Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell. I do want more than 2 or 3 minutes to discuss this Casey Dick in Arkansas situation. So we're going to save that. We'll tease that a little bit. Got our Morning Rush Daily question coming up as well. Did anyone hear Tony Romo this weekend?
How did you know?
So he was on the Bills and Jaguars broadcast, and he's definitely quirky, has his little things that he does.
That one sounded a little private.
Yeah, you got a Hall of Famer next to him in Jim Nance.
One of the best.
And then there's Tony, which I applaud him at times for his exuberance, his excitedness, and I enjoy that he kind of tells me what's about to happen at points. But then there's just weird situations like that.
That one, and the context for that was he is like grimacing because he's playing the role of the punter who's about to have his punt blocked. And so that's kind of him going, yeah. And so it is kind of a weird thing to hear. I mean, when you just play the audio clip, it's definitely out of context, which makes it more funny. But man, Tony Romo, he's definitely fallen down the peg of color commentators that I like to listen to. And you had him on full display during this playoffs. But when you're with Jim Nance, it's really easy.
Yeah, I would think that job would be a lot a lot easier. I'm going to guess that the Arkansas Razorbacks are going to be a favorite in this game come Wednesday night. You can follow it on the Bet Saracen app, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. What do you want to make a wager on that game come Wednesday night? Maybe you want to make a wager on the college football playoff national championship coming up on Monday between the Hurricanes and the Indiana Hoosiers. You can also do that on the Bet Saracen app. Any idea, Colton, what you think that line's at?
Oh, somewhere a little less than 10, maybe 8.5.
Indiana's an 8-point
Oh, sorry,
favorite.
Indiana. I was talking about the Razorback game. So Indiana's a what point
Indiana's
favorite?
an 8-point favorite.
Over
right now.
Miami?
Yeah,
Oh,
on the Bet Saracen app. Check it out with college football, NFL. It's all on the Bet Saracen app. Morning Rush Daily Question. Next.
Let your voice be heard. Call or text the Morning Rush at 877-377-6963. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
All right, you're all set with the coat and scarf. Bundling up?
Yeah, it's freezing out there.
Want to bundle up some wins?
Wins?
It's the $5 bundle from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. It's Powerball with Power Play, Lotto, and a free natural state jackpot ticket, all for just $5.
Wait. 3 chances for 3 jackpots for $5? Bundle me up.
Ask for the $5 bundle today. Must be 18 or older to play. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Few things in life are more important than showing up. Whether you show up for your family, friends, or teammates, it doesn't hurt to bring a plate of their favorite beef dish. Together, we bring more. Find your next crowd pleaser at beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council, courtesy of Beef. Itswhatsfordinner.com. Tom Murphy is brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
Thomas flashes for a steal, and Malik with a one-hand stuff on the other end.
This is the Morning Rush.
2026 is looking bright at Rath Auto Resources. Celebrate by driving away in one of our road-ready certified pre-owned cars, reconditioned and backed by a comprehensive warranty. With our award-winning customer service, non-commissioned sales team, and painless pricing, we take the hassle out of the car buying experience, so you can focus on more important things, like that new gym membership, quitting smoking, or that other thing. Ring in the new year with a new ride and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith. RathAutoFortSmith.com.
You know what's underrated? Having choices. Like, imagine not being able to choose your deluxe cravings box at Taco Bell. Imagine you couldn't get a box of classics for $5, more faves for $7, or a lavish feast for $9. Now with cheesy dipping burritos and creamy garlic sauce. Good thing all those choices are, like, actually real. So instead, imagine which you're gonna get. Choose your deluxe cravings box at Taco Bell today. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about. A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Time for the Carpat Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Christian's Place in Lowell online at carpatsocial.com.
So the broadcast Saturday night inside of the Jungle Never Arena was entertaining for Auburn fans, not so much Arkansas fans. At a point during the game, former Tennessee guard Dane Bradshaw, who I like Dane a lot. I know Clay and Dane know each other a little bit, had a funny one-liner with Tom Hart.
And they're talking trash. You think they're still doing Yo Mama jokes? Hope so. Saw a good one the other day. Yeah, what do you got? Your mama's so fat she browsed the internet all day just to accept the cookies.
All right, I want you to go back to your middle school, your elementary, your high school days, your adolescent days. I want you to tell me the best Your Mama joke at 877-377-6963. What is the best Your Mama joke on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline? Again, 877-377-6963.
Your mom is so fat, she has to use Google Earth to take a selfie.
Your mom is so fat, she took a pic last Christmas, and it's still printing.
A good Yo Mama joke is really hard to beat. I mean,
it's timeless.
It's the best. And it's probably the highest form of humor.
And listen, obviously, I'm in a different situation with my life. Go and send it here. Like this is actually something I want to hear. This is one of these. This is one of these segments. These are one of these questions that we need audience participation.
Yeah, send us your best.
This is either going to go really well, or it's going to go really poorly. At 877, we might have to table this for a little bit and get some responses.
Yo
on this.
Mama's so fat, even Dora can't explore her.
I can't remember the last time I've told one of these jokes. It had to have been high school. Surely I didn't tell one of these.
They
in
get
college.
reconstructed into where it's just at the end of it, it's just your mother, where it's kind of like that. But a good Yo Mama joke it's really, really hard to beat because no matter how much you don't want it to, it does get under your skin a little bit. That's your mom.
JT in Hot Springs, your mom is so fat, she broke her leg and gravy pours out. You're forced to text out of 479. Your mom is so fat, she brought a spoon to the Super Bowl. That one comes from Brad in Siloam Springs. I like personally, like it kind of goes into different categories. Like it's either your mom is so fat or so stupid.
Or ugly. Yeah, fat,
ugly.
stupid, or ugly.
Yeah, fat, stupid, or ugly. That's the route people usually go on these.
Mom is so fat when she walked past the TV, I missed 3 episodes.
Yeah, in Clarksville, your mom is so dumb she thought a quarterback was a reefer. These are good. I hadn't heard a lot of these in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, so you got to get these back in the Rolodex so I can use these to insult, middle schoolers whenever I'm insulting them.
Well, I don't know if Keyshawn Hall got told a Your Mama joke before the game or during the game, but it was personal for him on Saturday.
But in real life, if I had to be personal with you guys, I know it's going to be bulletin point for the next game, but I took this game kind of personal. I came through the transfer portal. Obviously, came here. Arkansas was one of my top 4 schools. They didn't recruit me as hard as the other guys they wanted to, so I give them that. So I treat this game personally. You know what I'm saying? They thought guys was worthy more than me, so every time I play them, it's going to be personal.
Felt personal. Four threes, 30 points.
Very
4 or 5
efficient
assists.
performance.
Yeah, very efficient performance. I remember this kid because I remember how many Arkansas fans jumped on ship on social media wanting him. Now, he was, UCF,
Central
George
Florida,
Mason, and there's one other school I think he was at. But, yeah, it was definitely personal for him. A couple more of these. Russell Boonville, your mama's so fat when she weighs herself on the scale. Let me see if this will load. It says no livestock allowed. Right. By the way, Russell, I weighed myself this past Saturday. I went to the gym with my buddy down there in Alabama and did not like what I saw. So that's one of the New Year's resolutions. Ryan in Prairie Grove, your mama's so fat when she wears high heels, they turn into flip-flops. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, that is your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily Question. A little tomfoolery here on a Hot Take Monday. It's brought to you by the #1 indoor golf facility in all of Arkansas. It's a perfect place that you can watch this upcoming national championship a week from today. NFL playoffs this weekend. I know Core State Groups had a fantastic time at their Christmas party. So when you're planning something, Christmas party, birthday party, it doesn't matter. Do it at Cart Pass Social. They've got 10 TVs there, and they've got March Madness is going to be here before we know it. I know their Masters Invitational is coming up as well. They're really excited for another season at Cart Pass Social. It's always BYOB. Go to cartpasssocial.com. 122 Grant Place in Lowell. Click on the events tab if you're looking for event planning and pricing at Cart Pass Social. Chase, your mama's so old she was a waitress at the Last Supper. Jody, your mama's so poor I saw her kicking the can down the road. I asked her what she was doing. She said moving. I do remember that one. These are some good ones. Thank you. Thank you to our audience for the participation. One of the things we teased last segment was discussing the dynamic between Fayetteville High School and the Purple Dogs and the Arkansas Razorback football team, where Casey Dick, some of you have seen this story in the snippet, others have not. Just to kind of inform everyone of what's going on, Hank Hendricks was going to be an upcoming senior with this Fayetteville Purple Dogs class. And now he is going to reclassify.
Graduate
early, I guess in 3 years, and come to school. Fayetteville. Listen to Mike Irwin talk about this a little bit with the dynamics with Ryan Silverfield and Casey Dick.
I expect these two guys to work this out. Ryan Silverfield and Casey Dick will work it out. Arkansas needs Fayetteville High. Fayetteville High needs Arkansas. Those two schools, the football fields are 2.5 blocks apart. There's a long history there. It'll get worked out.
Yeah, Harmon and Donald W. are right there next to each other. But Casey put out this, disappointed my university's approach to the recruiting process of a high school athlete. Situations like this are not good for high school athletics or the sport of football. Moving forward, Razorback football and Ryan Silverfield will not be welcome at our facilities. He since then responded, said, regarding a post I shared earlier today, I want to be clear that my responsibility as head coach is first and foremost to our student athletes. My priority has and always will be to put these men in the best position to succeed, both on the field and life, and that commitment will never change. He goes on, and
thank you, ChatGPT.
He looks forward to a follow-up meeting with Coach Silverfield. Here's the deal. Let's look at it from the two different perspectives. Let's look at it from Coach Silverfield's perspective, and let's look at it from Casey's perspective. Casey is about to coach a kid in his senior year, quarterback that you've been game planning.
Really talented.
Yeah, really talented guy that you're excited about what he could be. They could be a state champion by the end of this football season. And he gets thrown for a loop based on this, that he has no idea that this was in the process or being even thought about or discussed. I don't know if there was a lack of communication between the Hendricks parents and Casey. Again, I don't pretend to know all the details. I'm just reading surface level stuff. And I get it, like his frustration and the standpoint. I also get it from Ryan Silverfield's perspective. Now you have 3 QBs on campus. Hank will be the 4th, I guess, in May. I think that's when he's getting to campus. You can correct me on that, Colton.
Yes, May.
We'll
graduate high school first.
We'll see what else they add. But he needs quarterback depth, and he needs a guy that he thinks would be the future. And Hendricks is not going to play this next season or the season after that, I presume. But that could be the quarterback of your future. I tend to think based on what I've seen, kids come to campus, that's not where they're going to stay and end up, just based on what's going on in the current state of things. So I get why Coach Silverfield and them did it. And listen, here's also the thing. Like, senior year is a big deal, and yes, you got a chance to win a state championship with your buddies that you probably grown up in elementary and middle school with. But I got news for everyone: college is better than high school. Anyone that's attended,
1000%.
Like, what did you have a better time, at Gentry or at Arkansas Tech?
I had a better time when I was out under the thumb of everybody I'd ever known my entire life.
And listen, for the Fayetteville kids, like, you're obviously in the shadow and the eye of not just all the family and the alumni of Fayetteville High School, but, I mean, you're right next door. That's why some Fayetteville kids, whether they play sports or not, decide to move on and not play at the University of Arkansas, because you don't want the same thing that you had. So I don't listen. There's probably some stuff that'll come out about this or whatnot. Listen to Mike talk about this further.
His numbers are impressive, but it's hard to imagine somebody like that ready for college football. But I'm told he's really, really smart, and he's really going to graduate in 3 years. So it's hard. I can't stand here. I don't think you can or anyone else, and tell him or his dad he shouldn't do this. If they think it's the best thing for him, then that's what it is. And I can't imagine Arkansas telling him, no, stay away for a year. You do that, you may not get him next year. So I think it had to happen the way it happened.
Well, and that's an element. I don't know. I haven't looked at his recruiting profile or anything. I don't know who else is thinking of him highly and everything. But I know that's a thought for not just Ryan Silverfield, but any in-state coach of a particular flagship university. Is like, man, if I wait too long on a certain kid, he might go elsewhere.
Yeah, you can't be afraid to pull the trigger on some of these in-state guys, and you can't be afraid to take a flyer on him either. Hank Hendricks is going to be a really highly recruited prospect, and so for the chance to go ahead and lock him up right now is really a good thing for the Razorbacks. And I think we all understand where Coach Casey Dick is coming from. The problem is that you can't act like a teenage girl and take it to social media, and I'm sorry, you can't. And then once you delete the tweet, you have to go out there and make a Chat GPT apology because your employer told you, hey, you can't lock him out of the facility. We gave him keys when he got hired at the U of A. I mean, come on. When you get hired at the U of A as the head football coach, they give you directions to the Catfish Hole and keys to the high school at Fayetteville because you're going to be taking recruits from there every year. At least you should be. It doesn't make any sense to me why there would be beef about that. There should have been communication on both ends. And if there wasn't, Coach Dick has a pretty reasonable, reason to be upset. But at the same time, you can't say that I'm not going to let this guy in the building because that's just not going to happen. That kind of goes above your pay grade, unfortunately. And for Coach Silverfield, if you're poaching guys from high school teams like you're doing, if you're doing a good job in-state recruiting like he has been since he's got here, flipping those guys early, I understand that, but you cannot ruin the relationships with high school coaches because that's what happened to the last group of coaches that were here, and we suffered for it.
Clark and Van Buren, it's probably safe to say that, especially after a high school player reclassifying, that we are taking the student out of the student-athlete. Well, if he graduates in 3 years, the kid's probably pretty smart, Clark.
Yeah,
based
takes a
on
lot of hard work to do that.
Mike's comments. Trey and Centerton, as a Fayetteville alumni, being that close to the U of A, ruined the college experience. And again, that's why I have friends that weren't student-athletes. I have friends that were student-athletes, and I understand, like, FHS kids going elsewhere. I get it. Yeah. Like, when you're basically a mile from campus, if that, when it comes to where your high school is located compared to that. So be curious to watch the story of Hank Hendricks unfold in Fayetteville. All right, we've got a lot to get to in hour number 2 of the Morning Rush here on a Hot Take Monday. More reaction to Arkansas's 22-point loss to Auburn. Yes. The College Football Playoff National Championship is set, and some great games in the National Football League as well. We're brought to you this morning by WT Equipment. I know you want to start the new year strong. And WT Equipment in Springdale has the New Holland 300 Series compact track loaders that are built to handle whatever the job and whatever life throws your way. You're going to get outstanding operator comfort, class-leading visibility, and the best in-class boom geometry for exceptional life and reach. These machines range from anywhere from 60 to 90 horsepower and are fuel efficient. Plus, they have a wide variety of attachments so you can tackle all the job. Check it out at WT Equipment in Springdale. WT Equipment. Equip your future. Elevate your potential at WT Equipment. Hour 2, more of your thoughts and text coming up in just a bit.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
All right, you're all set with a coat and scarf. Bundling up?
Yeah, it's freezing out there.
Want to bundle up some wins?
Wins?
It's the $5 bundle from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. It's Powerball with Power Play, Lotto, and a free Natural State Jackpot ticket, all for just $5.
Wait. 3 chances for 3 jackpots for $5? Bundle me up.
Ask for the $5 bundle today. Must be 18 or older to play. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Few things in life are more important than showing up. Whether you show up for your family, friends, or teammates, it doesn't hurt to bring a plate of their favorite beef dish. Together, we bring more. Find your next crowd pleaser at beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council, courtesy of Beef. Itswhatsfordinner.com. Tom Murphy is brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
Is it time for you to finally get the barn, hunting lodge, barn dominium, or garage you always wanted? Sutherland's is here to help. Hi, this is Jeremy, sales manager at Sutherland's. When you choose to work with us, you can expect top quality, expertise, and peace of mind, knowing that Sutherland's will do whatever it takes to get the building you've always wanted. For a free quote, call 1-800-66-BARNS. Free estimates at Sutherland's.com. For over 100 years, Sutherland's has been helping folks build it better. No matter the project, we're here to help. Because at Sutherland's, home starts here.
This is The Morning Rush.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift of stress-free internet. Wave Rural Connect brings you our 300 internet with Wi-Fi, perfect for streaming, remote work, and holiday guests. No data limits, built-in cybersecurity, and easy control with our free Wave Connect app. All for just $71.95 a month. Visit waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372 today. Wave Rural Connect, internet that works when you need it most.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Has your spouse suddenly entered the transfer portal, going from a franchise player to a prima donna ready to take the money and run? Don't let her get away with a huge buyout. Be proactive and call Mock Legal Solutions today to ask about custody, alimony, and child support. 479-769-1505. Because even in divorce, the best offense is a good defense. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
I think we should start seeing other people.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a time out to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of Arkansas and Southwest Missouri is offering 50% off installation or no interest if paid in full until 2027. Some restrictions may apply. See store for details. Offer ends January 31st, 2026.
We're keeping Arkansas beautiful. Want to lend a hand? Don't be afraid to get them dirty. Every day, volunteers around the state are picking up litter, planting trees and wildflowers, recycling, and more. You know what these volunteers need most? Help. Volunteer today at keeparkansasbeautiful.com. Learn more about all our programs. A message brought to you by the Keep Arkansas Beautiful Commission, this station, and the Arkansas Broadcasters Association.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the lower 60s north, mid 50s south. Clear skies, an overnight low near 40 north, mid 30s south. And then Tuesday, blue skies, sunshine, a high in the low to mid 60s. We're going to be very close to 50 on Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
This weather information is brought to you by The Solid Rock, your source for inspirational gifts, home decor, women's boutique items.
KTRX Paris Fort Smith, broadcasting live from the Busch Light Studios. This is the Morning Rush.
This hour of the Morning Rush is powered by Busch Light. Busch Light, the coldest and smoothest light lager there is.
Thomas flashes for the one-hand stuff on the other end. Hewitt at the high post. Malik drains a three-pointer. How about that? John Calipari says don't foul. This one's in the book. Auburn played like a team, desperate for a win, and they blow out the Razorbacks tonight.
We had no chance today. No chance. You know what? This stuff happens. They were desperate, and they played that way.
They didn't recruit me as hard as the other guys they wanted to, so I give them that. So I treat this game personally, you know what I'm saying?
Razorbacks have not been a great defensive team this season.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. With Colton Little and Ty Richardson, this is the Morning Rush.
Oh, the sons learn and they sure run deep. They don't go away and they
Tracy Lawrence is a big Arkansas blank fan, Colton.
Baseball.
Oh. Good song selection coming in here of hour two of a Hot Take Monday. Everyone, just a reminder, Tommy is at his father-in-law, Jack Lucas's funeral today. Just keep him, keep his family, keep the Lucas family and their friends in your prayers today. I know that's something that we unfortunately have to go through, but just want to keep and remind everyone of that when it comes to kind of what him and his family are dealing with. Arkansas falls to Auburn by 22 in the Jungle. Neville really is a cool environment. First time got a chance there. I just thought Arkansas was going to lose this game. Auburn wasn't going to go 0-3. The Razorbacks weren't going to start 3-0 and 2-0 on the road in SEC play. Turnovers, Darius had a few more than he usually has for the Razorbacks, which especially early. And then Auburn just never relinquished that lead. Nearly led by 20 for almost all of the second half. The Razorbacks, I think, led for a little over a minute. At the end of the day, you get walloped on the road, and now you're back at home. We're going to see how this team responds, potentially without Carter Hawks, come Wednesday night.
I think the bigger story out of all of this game, from a college basketball perspective, not just here in Fayetteville and in Arkansas, is that maybe Auburn's a lot better than we gave them credit for.
They lost to Houston by, 2 or 3?
Yeah, the people fell off and started to sleep on Auburn. They've been competitive, and even though, yes, they do have Nepo Pearl there now, and it's not his dad that's doing the coaching, they're still a talented roster, and you'd have to be really bad at coaching to not at least stumble into a few wins with them. But he was obviously able to get them inspired to defend their home court and not start conference play on an 0-3 slide. So credit to the Auburn Tigers, and hopefully Arkansas can get healthy here this week and get back on track against South Carolina.
Cal, after the game.
So I felt really good until I watched the game unfold, and I saw that they were beating us to every loose ball, every 50-50 rebound. No, 80-20 toward us. They still got the ball. They were 12 rebounds up on us at half. Well, How? What? You can't win that game.
The Razorbacks were out rebounded by 9. They had 20 more paint points and 11 more assists. Those are not stats you want associated with yourself, especially on the road in the SEC. Don't expect to walk away with a win when you get beat like that in some of those categories.
Yeah, you definitely got it taken to you in there in the paint. Like you said, 48 points for Auburn in the paint to only your 28. I think that once the game got a little bit out of hand there in the second half, you definitely saw the focus sort of try to slip away. There was some fouls that got called, a little bit of aggressiveness from Malik Ewan and Thomas, some guys that got some technicals called on them. And, when you see that, you just know that, look, even if the scoreboard's not over yet, the game is lost. And let's just get the heck out of here. Like Coach said, burn the tape, get out of here. You really can't learn much from this. And I'm not sure if I agree with that you can't learn much from it. And I hope they didn't burn the tape and they go back and watch and say, hey, I pay you a lot of money to not do this, so let's, not do this.
You don't have Auburn, you get Auburn back at home this season, so there's still an opportunity to get a little revenge on these
Matt
guys.
Jones said on the Hog Reaction that we should beat them by 8 points when they come here, because I feel like that we're a little bit better of a team than they are. They caught us on a really bad night, and they were obviously juiced up, but when they come to Bud Walton, I do expect it to be a much closer contest, and for the Razorbacks to come out on top.
Well, I don't know what the line's going to be just yet for Arkansas and South Carolina Wednesday, that upcoming line against Arkansas and Auburn when they come back to Fayetteville. But I know you can find it on the Oaklawn Sports app. Arkansas's best sports betting app, college football playoff national championship. You've got the Indiana Hoosiers against the Miami Hurricanes a week from today. NFL playoffs, you had a great wild card round. I know the final one's tonight. Pittsburgh and Houston, you can bet on that. Plus, you've got conference college basketball games. You've got so much that you can bet on the Oaklawn Sports app. Apple Play or in the Google Play store. New customers can earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Once you deposit, you're automatically enrolled in the promotion. There's a 10% profit boost for new and existing customers. Futures, outright winners, spreads, and more. It's easy to fund and withdraw. ACH, debit, credit cards, PayPal, Apple Pay, Venmo, and the on-site cash at the Oaklawn Sportsbook, which is always a good time. It's the Oaklawn Sports app, Arkansas's best sports betting app. So now looking at the Southeastern Conference, I believe Vanderbilt's the only undefeated SEC team remaining,
yes,
correct?
Currently, yeah.
And they won this weekend. So that's the only one left. There's a handful of teams that are 2-1, 1-2. I don't know how many teams are 0-3, but it's not like the Arkansas is by any stretch of the imagination behind. Thankfully, you won early this week against a lesser opponent in Ole Miss, and definitely a lesser atmosphere than what you faced on Saturday. And now you get to come back home and see what you got. But Arkansas, I think, is still either right on schedule or ahead of schedule, depending on how you want to look at it. And A&M is now 3-0 in conference. So you have two teams, and then you've got Missouri, Florida, Georgia, Auburn, and Mississippi State all at 2-1. And there's a handful of teams at 1-2. LSU 0-3 at the very bottom of the league. Mac Mahan, however you say his name, not a great season thus far for the LSU Tigers.
They've obviously put a lot of their focus on football over there in Baton Rouge, and we'll continue to be. Do it. Continue on. We're fine with that. We like to kick your ass in basketball. We do it pretty much every year. So the thing with the SEC this year is obviously it's not quite as strong as it was last year, so it's a little bit different than what we're used to with like the historical number of teams that made it into the tournament last year. It's not quite as strong. But if you think about it, Ty, at this time last year, we were on our way to losing 2 more games after we had dropped our first 3. So you're in a much better spot than where you were last year. And so even though it may feel like on this Monday morning here at 10:07 that the sky is falling because you went to Auburn and got your butt kicked by 20-something plus points, team dealing with a little bit of injuries to one of their starters, turned the ball over way too much and got out-rebounded. All things that can be fixed with a little bit of time and a little bit more effort. So you feel a little bit better about the Razorbacks than you did this time last year. And you're not really searching for anything. I think this time last year we were still searching for a second option to go along with Adu Thero. You don't have to worry about that anymore. You've got a couple of microwaves that come off the bench to score lots of points for you. And Ewan, who grabbed the double-double last night, and Malik Thomas, who's just been lights out all year off the bench. And you have good, steady production from guards like Darius Acuff. Trevin Brazil has gotten a little bit more consistent over the past couple of games. He's still shaky at times, but he ended up pouring in 12 points the other night. So I don't think it's the same case as last year. You should be feeling a little bit better, but there is some cause for concern, like we mentioned in the first hour, Ty, because that defense is atrocious at times.
14 out of 16 in the conference. You give up the 15th worst percentage 3-point wise in the league, and Heard Tom Hart talking about that. I think another cause for concerns in the losses is this team gets 3 happy.
We're a lane touch team. Who was the lane touch team today? We're not a team that tries to shoot 33s. Who did that today? Us. Because the stuff was really rough. If you drove, it was rough. You're not just getting a free lane unless you were driving on us.
And when you look at the Duke game or the Michigan State game, I think they attempted 17 3-pointers in the first half. Arkansas did.
Yeah.
That's not Arkansas' strength. And at times they, I can't.
Well, they're the best shooting team in the SEC.
Hold on. But look at the number of threes taken. And I don't have that list in front of me, but you have to separate when you say that because you are accurate in saying this is percentage-wise the best three-point shooting team, top 15 overall in the league. But Cal would tell you, like he's explained it before, a lot of times it's on these fast breaks and guys filling lanes and doing the correct thing. It's not taking a bajillion threes a game like Nate Oates and the Alabama Crimson Tide do. And when you take 17 threes in the first half, and listen, 6 of them's not terrible, knocking down 6, 35%. But I know Cal was frustrated at the amount, telling the guys either at half, and they only took, you could tell it was preached about at halftime. They only took 4 in the second half. Just all around. You ran into a buzzsaw on Saturday night, and you're going to have that at several times. That's one of the reasons, like when we kicked around, how many wins does it take to take down the league in the SEC in the regular season? And I think you said 14. I think Tommy said 13. I think I said 15. No way a team gets 16 wins or 17 wins or goes undefeated. Like Vanderbilt and Texas A&M are going to lose. That's just going to happen. Cal and Arkansas are in that selection of the 7 or 8 teams that he mentioned. It was 3 or 4 last year that kind of separated themselves, and the 7 or 8 teams kind of near the top that very much could be vying for the right of the SEC regular season champion this year.
Yeah, and you mentioned it right there about how they settled for too many threes early on in the game, and that was something that I think stood out to me from their performance. Was it just looked like they weren't being very aggressive, and Coach Cal said it right there. Anytime you went into the lane, you were going to get mauled, and not fouled necessarily, but they were pretty tied up in there defensively in Auburn. So credit to Auburn, like I said once again, but that's something that you have to be able to continuously, put on display throughout the season. Is that yes, we can shoot in transition, we can shoot when we're open, but we are trying to be aggressive. This team is full of way too many athletes to be settling to shoot 17 threes in the first half. Ty, that's what? That's a 3-point shot every minute almost in the first half. That means almost all of your possessions in the first half, you shot a 3. Can't do that.
Yeah, can't do that if you're expecting to contend and ultimately win the SEC regular season.
At least that's part of the reason why you got work on the boards in the first half too, and they were up by 12 on you. Is because look, those long threes are going to lead to long rebounds, and so whichever team is not crashing the boards going to come away with those. And Auburn played them right, and you didn't.
Yeah, and now it's just about if they're able to respond or not. We'll see come Wednesday night. What a weekend in the National Football League and some of the craziness that you have. You look at the first game on Sunday.
Ball's intercepted. The game is over. As Paul Bishop gets it off the rebound.
Where do the Bills rank? Like you have
the bottom. I hate the.
I didn't know Bills, Patriots, and who's the other team in y'all's division besides Miami? The Jets.
You
don't care about the Jets. Yeah. So between the Bills and the Patriots, 2 of your division rivals that are still in the playoffs, who would you want to win least? Like who would you rather?
Well, I'd rather the Patriots continue on because I do like Mike Vrabel, and I have, obviously an affinity for Hunter Henry and some of the other Razorbacks that have played for the Patriots throughout the years. And I know that Landon Jackson is up there in Buffalo putting in work as a good reserve player on their defensive line. He's gotten some run a little bit here, but I cannot stand the Buffalo Bills.
And simply Josh Allen?
Well, Josh Allen's got it all. Except for a Super Bowl and, an AFC championship. But he's got a beautiful wife. I got a rocket for an arm. He's as fast as lightning. He's as good as can be. He's handsome. He's funny. Kid on the way. Living his life. I don't care. He's never been a winner when it mattered most, and I hope that trend continues.
Well, that was because he ran into Patrick Mahomes.
I do not care if Patrick. He's not going to do it again this year, Ty. He's not going to do it again this year because his team is not set up that way anymore as they were when they were stronger. They've lost a lot of pieces.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs probably.
Well, he's in trouble. So
yeah, when you think about where we're at in the National Football League with Mahomes going down, you could point to Brady going down. Was that 08? Because the 07 he had the great season.
Yes, 08, the year after that. Matt Castle came in relief.
Yeah, and it's weird how
he still had a good season.
Mahomes and him got injured the same season. That's just such a peculiar coincidence. But you're in the you could point to that year in the NFL, or you could point to the 99 93-94 season in the NBA where Michael's playing baseball.
Yeah.
And he just won 3 titles. Mahomes, I know, hadn't won 3 straight. But that is it. Every quarterback that's still in contention right now to win the Super Bowl, like Matthew Stafford, Caleb Williams, you've got Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, Bo Nix. We're talking about Josh Allen, Drake May, and then either Aaron Rodgers or C.J. Stroud tonight. You're not going to get this again because you're going to have to go up against the best quarterback in the current setup of the National Football League and one of the best of all time in Patrick Mahomes, especially in the AFC. Now, if you somehow get to the Super Bowl, you're probably going to have to play him regardless. So this is such a unique opportunity for these guys because it's not going to be like this for much longer.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
I know we've questioned whether you can see another run for Mahomes like you saw with Brady.
That's what I want to know.
That's, to me, this is the year one of those guys, especially if you're Josh Allen, like you're saying, because there's a lot of pressure on him for him to win the whole thing.
You're absolutely right. There's no better year than right now when all the real contenders are out. So good for Josh Allen. He can get a Mickey Mouse Super Bowl. Good for him. I really could care less about what happens to him.
There
whatever.
you go.
But Ty, you can't just say that Kansas City's going to be back. Why did Mahomes get hurt this year? Because their offensive line was terrible. The man had to run for his life every single game. And they had lost some players in their offensive line. They were dealing with some injuries. So they got to get healthy. And they also have to have guys that are able to go in there and fill the gaps when their older starters aren't healthy. Travis Kelce's on the way out. He's focused on podcasting and being the focus of T Swift's next album. So, I mean, whatever. But he's about to be on his way out, too. You've already lost some of the best playmakers you've had in your entire franchise's history in the last several years. You've not retooled as well as you should have through the draft. Andy Reid is only getting older. The window for the Kansas City Chiefs may be closed. But, like you said, Ty, whenever you have a one-of-one talent like Patrick Mahomes, it's really never closed. But they do have to, get some things back together this offseason. Otherwise, they're going to be in maybe a little bit better position, but at best, they'd be fighting for contention in the wild card round, too. So you're right. For Drake May, for Bo Nix, for all these guys that are right now in the AFC, it is time to go out there and prove that you belong in this league. And hey, doesn't matter how old I am, doesn't matter how many years I have under my belt, doesn't matter, if I've been traded from one team or another, how many times I'm going to go out there and win a Super Bowl because the best quarterback in the league can't do it this year.
Hog Wild says he believes the Los Angeles Rams and Matthew Stafford are going to take on Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. I hope Josh Allen.
That's kind of a boring Super Bowl to me.
You
Rams,
think
Broncos.
So?
Yeah,
I would like to see.
I wouldn't get up for that.
I would like to see Josh Allen go through 3 straight road games to get to the Super Bowl and end up capping it. But it sounds like you definitely don't want that.
And don't get me wrong here. Josh Allen has had a lot of heartbreak in his career. He suffered some really, really tough losses to Patrick Mahomes and in other games in the playoffs. And so whenever you see a player go through that agony on the field multiple times and it's broadcasted and they don't cut away from him crying or with his hands buried in his face or with, one of those beanies covering up his sad eyes as the tears stream down them frozen in the Buffalo winter, eventually you do start to feel a little bit sorry for the guy. And you do hope that maybe he comes out on top one day. But look, Buffalo's a losing town. They've lost a lot of Super Bowls. And I don't see them winning another one. And to be honest with you, if they'd have lost that game yesterday, McDermott would have been fired. So,
I agree. And then you would have seen, I think John Harbaugh would have taken that Buffalo job. But now he's still bowling over. I think if the Packers job comes open or some other job opportunities. I was going to say this for SEC Update, but Gavin Fayetteville points this out. So I'll go and let everyone know this via the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Sam Levitt has officially committed to LSU, according to On3. This was a wild thing that happened this weekend.
Yeah.
So Levitt's at the LSU basketball game this last week in Baton Rouge, and then he's taking another trip to Knoxville. This is the Arizona State quarterback. Is one of the more highly coveted players in all of college football, the portal.
Yeah.
And Kiffin reportedly followed him to Knoxville and was still talking with him in the midst of Josh Heupel and the Tennessee Volunteers. So I guarantee you Tennessee fans are livid
Lane
this
Kiffin
morning.
stalking somebody?
Yeah,
No,
they
never.
They are,
never.
I know Tennessee already hates Lane Kiffin, and that hatred has only grown continuously throughout the morning as this has been announced. But that is it is wild the things coaches will do to get certain quarterbacks, especially ones. And so, looks like Sam Levitt heading to Baton Rouge, according to On3.
Levitt's one of those gems in the portal. He was obviously very talented in his years at Arizona State, led them to the playoffs last year, not this season, but the season before, the college football playoffs. But this past year, Ty, he didn't play a whole lot, and he was essentially kicked off the team there in Tempe. because he got hurt in playing basketball or pickup basketball or something like that, which is an irresponsible thing to do. And then he essentially held out for a little bit more money. So with Sam Levitt, you're getting a great quarterback, but you're also getting a guy that really loves himself. And that just seems like a match made in heaven for Lane Kiffin. A quarterback that loves himself and a coach that loves himself even more.
We'll see if it works out. I know there's a lot riding, especially on Kurt Cignetti and what he accomplished in year 1 and year 2. Those expectations are even more heightened than Biden.
And they're going to be here in Fayetteville to end the season. That's right. You can beat them. Finish your season. 3-9.
That would be a great season for Ryan Silverfield. Not the 3-9 that you went to, but if you could, beat what I presume to be a top 5, maybe a top 10 team in the country, and LSU coming here at the end of the year. All right, so we mentioned Sam Levitt, his next destination. We got more SEC news to get to here this morning. We might come back to the Your Mama jokes that have been popular throughout the morning.
Send them in.
Dane Bradshaw, if you have an old Your Mama joke that you haven't said in a while, they haven't told, or a new one, you can send those in at the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Your hot takes are welcome as well as Hot Take Monday. Colton Little, Ty Richardson. Next 40 minutes, you and us. It rolls on next.
When they're talking trash, you think they're still doing Yo Mama joke? Hope so. Saw a good one the other day. Yeah? What do you got? Your mama's so fat, she browsed the internet all day just to accept the cookies.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
You know what? This stuff happens.
This is The Morning Rush.
2026 is looking bright at Rath Auto Resources. Celebrate by driving away in one of our road-ready certified pre-owned cars, reconditioned and backed by a comprehensive warranty. With our award-winning customer service, non-commissioned sales team, and painless pricing, we take the hassle out of the car buying experience, so you can focus on more important things, like that new gym membership, quitting smoking, or that other thing. Ring in the new year with a new ride and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith. RathAutoFortSmith.com.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer. World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner. Because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight. We're about the toughest there is.
Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally climbed the hill. It's the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
I saw the prize for it fast. The Golden Boot Trophy is in the shape of these 2 contiguous states, whose flagship schools vie for it annually. Abigail.
What are Arkansas and Louisiana?
Yes.
How about the Golden Boot? Congrats, Bass, being on Jeopardy. I wonder if she would have gotten that right if it hadn't shown the picture.
No
of
chance she would have gotten that right.
Yeah,
None.
She might have been a big-time college football SEC fan.
Maybe.
But I just thought that was, she's quick to it. Once you see the state, I think it's pretty easy to figure out what they are.
If you've seen the map.
Unfortunately, the background was in Baton Rouge.
Them holding it and winning.
Them having.
A lot more pictures of that
You'd
than
like
the
to,
inverse.
yeah, you'd like to have that back. I guess you hadn't won the Golden Boot since 2021 when Cam Little kicked that game-winning field goal in Baton Rouge as a freshman. It's crazy to think that was 5 years ago or 4 years ago and 3 months or whatever it was.
Love Jeopardy. I was only 2 questions away from being flown out to Los Angeles to make it on College Jeopardy, but they asked me some questions about African dynasties.
Yeah. What's the backstory on that?
So I've always been a fact guy, known some trivia, been pretty good at it, and so for some reason I just thought to myself in college, man, the college version of Jeopardy is so much easier than the normal version of Jeopardy. I was like, I can wax these people, all these people from Harvard that look so smart. They're missing these questions, and I'm rattling off in a second. I was like, what is the process for it? So here's what it is. You go onto Jeopardy, you say, I'd like to do the thing, you log on, and then it basically gives you a test. It does a lockdown browser on your computer like when you're taking a test on Blackboard back in the day. So you can't cheat.
That's a reference.
Yeah. So you can't cheat. And so what it does is they give you like a couple minutes to do 30 questions. You have to answer in the form of a question and type it in on your computer once all the categories go through. The first round, you have to make a 25 out of 30. And then they get harder questions. They go to the second round, you have to make a 28 out of 30. And on the final round, you have to make a 30 out of 30. Well, I went through the first round, 30 out of 30. Second round, 30 out of 30. The final round, 28 out of 30.
Man.
Yeah.
You were close.
I was close. Close to getting out there and kicking some Ivy League butt, but just a little old hick from Arkansas Tech. I couldn't hack it.
Little short on that. Well, listen, that's better than I would have probably done. I do enjoy, I don't have necessarily a specific game show that I take in every single day. I know Ruskin's a big game show guy. I know like Papa's, for example, in Fort Smith has Jeopardy on at specific hours of the day.
4 o'clock.
Yeah, that's
on.
That's when I watch it.
I have it recorded. I watch it almost every day.
Do you really?
Yeah, I gotta keep sharp.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to do it. Reading and Jeopardy, that's a way to increase your self-awareness and just kind of things that are going on. You were talking about during the break, so Trinidad Chambliss was denied initial eligibility another year by the NCAA. I know he's hired Tom Mars and probably a swath of lawyers when it comes to him trying to get another year. Now, the interesting dynamic there is like Deuce Knight either committed or signed. He's a Mississippi kid. He was at Auburn this last season and is now jumping ship to the Rebels. It's like, Are you still trying to get them both? I know that Pete Golding would love them both, but
Yeah.
when Deuce Knight goes for I don't know what that story looks like behind the scenes. Just the latest that Chambliss and listen, Arkansas is not playing Ole Miss this year. I kind of want to see that kid get another year of eligibility and play. If they're not on your schedule, that's just my own personal opinion on the matter. But don't know what's going to happen with that whole situation.
It is inconsequential because you don't have to match up with the Rebels this year. So I'm in favor of him coming back too as well. He's an extremely dynamic player, and if he ends up having to go to the NFL, I think that he'll find his way onto a roster. He's been a playmaker his whole career at Ole Miss, and obviously so when he was at Ferris State making moves there. So the funny thing is about this is that, you know, he's suing the NCAA, right? Which basically means that he's going to win because the NCAA is terrified of any type of litigation whatsoever at all from former athletes against them. So all you had to do is basically just get a team of lawyers and say, hey, we'll take you to court. And I think the NCAA is probably going to end up granting him a 6th year. It's also happening in Mississippi. So I'm sure that Judge Andy Benton, that graduated from the University of Mississippi Juris Doctorate, will probably rule in favor of the Ole Miss Rebel quarterback.
All right, a few more things here in your SEC update. Vanderbilt, again, still undefeated, and LSU still 0 in the league as Vandy wins at home in Nashville 84-73. How about Texas defeating Alabama? I thought Alabama would get their kick back. Instead, they fall to the Longhorns 92-88. Georgia defeats South Carolina on the road. The team you'll play on Wednesday night.
Florida whacked Tennessee at home, too.
91-67.
Boogie cut his hair and had a day.
Mm-hmm. A&M defeats Ole Miss 83-76. The other one of the two SEC undefeated teams, at least in conference play. Ole Miss goes to Missouri, or hosts Missouri and gets a win, and then Kentucky hosted Mississippi State and got a big win for Mark Pope and company. Would love to see the Bulldogs come in here and thrash the Wildcats, but that's not ended up what happening. Speaking of thrashing, more thoughts coming up here on the college football playoff and what happened there. The Indiana opponent come Monday night is the Miami Hurricanes, and like every other college football coach in the semis, Mario Cristobal is a disciple of Nick Saban, and they had a fun back and forth on Friday.
The one thing that concerned me in the game, is you dominated the game. Your players dominated the game. And they kept shooting themselves in the foot. You know, you didn't get stopped in the first half one time unless you stopped yourself with a penalty, 25-yard run holding penalty, holding or a sack. And they converted those things into points, and that's what kept them in the game. You should have been ahead 2 scores by the half, no question about it. The 2 minute before the half where they stole 3 points, where if you don't have field position, it's not like 2 minutes at the end of the game.
What the hell are you doing?
We should have never let him get the ball back. All right, so.
Coach, I hate to stop you, but let me correct you. As by your standards, and I'll show you your notebook if you want to, if you were under 45 seconds and at your 35, you try to pop a run or a screen, and if you do, you go. But with over a minute, especially over minute 10, your philosophy was be aggressive and try to get points. And that's what we did. So there you go.
I need to see that. I may have changed my philosophy.
Hey, TV's changed them, Coach. TV's changed them, Coach.
You used to be about physicality. Now you like reverses and, you know.
I saw a flea flipper last time. I saw him down into some kind of.
If you are the producer or buttons guy for the College Game Day or any ESPN broadcast with Nick Saban involved, you have to be at the ready because he is going to blurt out a cuss word at any given time. It's not like it's every minute or anything, but I would say that probably a segment or so, there's going to be a coach word that he broadcasts and that all of his coworkers are used to hearing. And that was just a fun little exchange between a former assistant of his. And again, the dynamics, Signetti, Lanning, Cristobal, and Golding, all at one point coached under Nick Saban.
What I thought was funny about that exchange was, you know, Coach Cristobal says, that's not what you said back in the day, Coach. I'll show you your notebook, which makes me think that all of these Saban disciples are carrying around like the plays like the coach from their water boy. They've always just got it so tight to their chest like it's their Bible. That's kind of how I imagine that. But Cristobal is kind of a funny guy because he's a terrible interview for the most part. Like he's not a good person to interview. So seeing him up there being a little bit more personable with Coach Saban was obviously really fun. And I think that anytime that you get Coach Saban up there and you get someone ribbing back and forth with him, he is really, really electric.
Apparently, he does not like being asked the question if the U is back. That is not something that he enjoys. All right, that is your SEC update this morning. It's brought to you by the Inn at the Mill. #1 place to stay in Northwest Arkansas is the Inn at the Mill off the Johnson exit. The homemade the cookies, the exceptional staff. It is all an awesome time at the Inn at the Mill. You could be going to the basketball game on Wednesday night, maybe a concert at the Amp here this season. Business travel, staycation, whatever it is, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Call Jennifer and the team, 479-443-1800, or visit inatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present. During the break, you let me know there's been another addition for the Arkansas Razorbacks via Matt Zenitz and 24/7 Sports. Who's the latest portal guy that they got?
Arkansas has landed a commitment from LSU wide receiver transfer Jelani Watkins for both football and track, which means speed. His agency, Agency One Sports, tells CBS Sports, who is repped by Agent Butler, he's a class of 2024 top 120 overall recruit. So you're getting a guy coming in here from a big name school with lots of speed that was one of the top players in his class just a couple of years ago, which means speed, and he's got a little bit of eligibility.
Yeah, and you'll take that. Arkansas has got a number of guys, including Braden Fuller, who is another quarterback from Angelo State. You were talking about he's got a number of different passing statistics coming in there. David Oakey's coming back. I saw him put something out.
Yeah.
We'll get more into this Hank Hendricks dynamic, Fayetteville High School quarterback coming up in maybe next segment. But Arkansas, there are a few more Memphis kids, Baylor, West Virginia, Boise State, some of the names that you're seeing on these players, and then an LSU guy as well. So I don't know where they are. Have you looked at the latest rankings?
I haven't seen it since earlier this past week. So
last I saw it, Arkansas was in the top 12 of both On3 and 24/7 Sports in terms of team recruiting rankings. And are you going to be inside that for high school recruiting? Probably not. But you can be there in the transfer portal. Like Pittman had himself a couple good transfer portal hauls. And you can get guys the second time around. You're not necessarily going to get those 4 or 5 stars out of state the first time around, but the second time around could favor the Razorbacks, and you could get some kids that maybe for whatever reason didn't work out at their former school, and it works out in Fayetteville, hopefully.
Yeah, so for 24/7 Sports, they've knocked you down a peg. You're still within the top 20 at number 19, but there's a lot of SEC schools ahead of you. South Carolina, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Florida, Auburn, Kentucky, also Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and LSU and Texas are all ahead of you. So you're still somewhere around the middle of the pack in the SEC, but in the top 20 for the country nationally, that's just on 24/7 Sports, who in my opinion is not quite as reputable as On3. And then On3 has you ranked a little bit higher than that. So still a little bit different than what we've seen in the past from the transfer portal here for Razorback football. It appears that they really are trying to get this roster shored up and plug these holes as fast as possible. It seems like they've had at least one commitment every day since the 2nd of January, whenever it opened. And I look, as fans, we really won't know. I don't expect everybody to go in there and pop in the tape of these guys playing at, Angelo State. And, I don't expect you to go watch games in the GAC, watch a top ad. I'm not expecting anything like that to happen. But we won't know until, obviously, these guys get to maybe pop some pads in practice and we see a little bit of footage of that. But we really won't know until the games come out in August. And so, or until the season starts and the Razorbacks come out there in August. But right now, it looks like they are trying a completely new strategy than we've seen the last couple of years in the transfer portal. They are really trying to get guys that have played lots of snaps at any level of college football. And I think that's a big thing for the Razorbacks, because we were bringing in guys in the past that had played lots of snaps, but they were at different schools and they hadn't played a lot of snaps since high school. And that's not what you want. You don't want to be watching high school tape to evaluate guys you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on once they're in college. So they definitely tried a little new strategy this year, and we'll see how it works out once August comes around. But I think that you got to be feeling pretty positive about the transfer portal right now for the Razorbacks. You're at a little higher of a stanchion than you were at this time last year in the transfer portal, and it appears that you've got no problem spending money on getting some of these players from big-name schools.
Everyone is trying to replicate the formula and the philosophy that Kirk Cignetti installed in Bloomington. One
That's
way,
a lot
shape,
of
or
development.
Another.
That's a lot of talent development.
And we talked about Nick Saban there for just a sec. Cignetti under Coach Saban and has that knowledge and
just copies him.
And has that in his background. You've talked about you've been annoyed by some of his animations and some of his mannerisms on the sideline, which you think are a little over the top at times. Heck, people are accusing Indiana of cheating now.
That they're hacking into the system. Yeah, I saw that. That's ridiculous.
For example, Friday night this happened.
Hill Jr. is the running back. The pass is intercepted. It's going to be run in. A touchdown. D'Angelo Pons on the first play of the game.
And I think that those cheating accusations and rumors are just stupid.
That's a terrible example, though, because first of all, the Duck quarterback threw a duck as a quarterback. It was an awful throw. And then secondly, it's not that hard. If you watch film throughout the week.
He's got a safety. He's got a safety behind him. He can bite on any of the first, like, the first breaks of the route. Like, that's just and Moore, like you said, threw a duck. By the way, Moore didn't have a great time earlier in Eugene this season when it came to turning the ball over. Did the same thing in this game Friday night. It's just funny, like, people were trying to figure out ways why it's because they've got an incredible coach. They've got an incredible leader quarterback.
They have a G8 Indiana that has a master's in cybersecurity, so they put 2 and 2 together and thought that they were hacking into the radio waves between teams and teams. So not true. Indiana just watches tape.
Yeah, that's people's hot takes this morning. Okay, one of my hot takes here on Hot Take Mondays, I think Indiana is actually going to outnumber. I know this is crazy. Miami fans in Miami at this game come Monday night. 6:30 start here locally, which is nice because I feel like sometimes it started like 7:30 or 8, depending on where the game was located. But I was excited to see. I still wish the game was on Saturday night instead of Monday night. I get it because of the NFL and the setup there. That's just my personal opinion. I'm with Dan Lanning 100% on echoing the same thought on when the college football playoff should be. But if you're going to the game, for the Indiana fans or Miami fans that are trying to make it out there, tickets to get in, it's like nearly $3,500. Really good seats are over $10,000. That's just, secondary market. I get making $1, but to do this to diehard fans, and I know Miami has had a lot more illustrious college football history and good times than Indiana. I just feel bad. I feel dirty reading that, and I hate that.
It's certainly not fair that a team that's been absolute cellar dwellers in college football for as long as they've been around, when they finally had this awesome turnaround story, there's, like you said, Ty, a good chunk of their fans that probably don't have an extra $5,000 in their pocket to just say, hey, let's go blow it on just the ticket alone. Forget the travel to one of the most expensive cities in the world. Okay, forget all of that. You still have to pay $5,000 for your ticket. That's absurd. And look, whenever they were in Atlanta this past weekend, there was no Oregon Duck green or yellow anywhere in sight. It was a sea of red, like from the old '69 broadcast from the game of the century. It was a sea of red. Indiana was filling that place up. And so while it is in Miami, and I expect there to be a good contingency of Hurricane fans there, I think you're right, Ty. Indiana is going to try their best to fill it up, but a national championship game should have 0 empty seats. And it should not feel like this massive corporate, just like fun fest. It should feel like a football game.
That's what it used to feel like.
Yes.
You referenced the 2005 national championship game between USC and Texas. That did not feel commercial.
No.
The Super Bowl has been commercial for a number of years now.
They play it indoors every year.
Yeah, that's what this is turning into, unfortunately. I don't like that aspect of college football.
But it is cool that it's in Miami. And you know what's funny? It's in Miami, so the Hurricanes obviously get a chance to play in their home city, which I can't tell you how many times that's happened in college football. Maybe once, probably not many. It may be the first time.
New Orleans back when LSU played.
It's a rarer occurrence, but
the Rose Bowl with USC. Yeah,
what's cool about that is that it's also Mendoza's a Miami guy, so he gets to come home to where he's from. I'm sure he wanted to go to university. Yeah, I'm sure. Wow. Ty, you know any Lil Uzi Vert?
I mean, I used to listen to him a little bit, but I'm very cliche now.
Well, anyway, Mendoza gets to come home to Miami too, and that's where he's going to end up playing professional football for the Dolphins to save my franchise, hopefully. So hopefully his journey starts here in Miami again.
All right, before we go to break, we asked if you missed this on the game broadcast. Dane Bradshaw, Tom Hart were on the call in what the debacle that happened at Auburn. And the best part of the broadcast was probably this.
When they're talking trash, you think they're still doing Yo Mama jokes? I hope so. Saw a good one the other day. Yeah, what do you got? Your mama's so fat, she browsed the internet all day just to accept the cookies.
All right, so we're still getting texts here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. This one comes from Tina and Mina. Your mom is so stupid that she sold her car for gas money. Colton, I know you received one earlier that we hadn't read just yet.
Your mama is so ugly that whenever they printed off her birth certificate, it was an apology letter from the condom company.
Ryan in Prairie Grove, your mom is so fat she wears high heels and strikes oil. Troy and Harrison, are you going to see your mama later? Tell her I said hello. And then also, sorry, this is loaded. And to come get that wooden leg and the glass eye she left on my nightstand last night. Y'all have a good day.
Your mama's
Go
so
Hogs.
stupid. She puts 2 quarters in her ears and thought she was listening to 50 Cent.
Your mama's so fat when she gets on the scale it says to be continued. These are good. Thank you guys. Andrew and Mina, your mom is so fat. If she was hauling butt, she would have to make 2 trips. Eddie from Atkins, your mama is so dumb. If brains was gasoline, she could not power an ant's motorcycle halfway around a BB.
Your mom is so dumb. She stared at the orange juice container for 5 hours because it says concentrate.
Farmer Tom, your mama is so fat she's got more chins than a Chinese phone book. Haven't heard that in a while. And then last but not least, Chase in Fort Smith, your mama's so fat Thanos had to snap twice. Your mama's so fat she had to carry dollar bills in her pocket and then pesos.
If you have a middle school age son, go back and have them listen to this today. Just give them some ammunition they can toss out at their classmates. These are the insults we need to hear in our public schools today, not the dirty, filthy stuff I'm sure your kids are all saying.
These are classic.
Classics.
Travis, your mom's so fat she's on both sides of the family. Jeez Louise. Oh my goodness. All right, we gotta go to break. One more segment, Morning Rush coming up, Hot Take Monday. We'll get back into this Casey Dick and a Hank Hendricks situation, which I know some of you have seen, some of you are unfamiliar with, and what Greg George Kittle requested following his unfortunate injury with the San Francisco 49ers. Hey, we're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. If you haven't been, you've heard us talking about it for a while, and I say us. You've heard Tommy talking about it for a while. I'm going to do my best to tell you about it in his absence today. It's an unbelievable place. I've been there a few times, always have a phenomenal time at Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202 is the number for Gaston's. You can check out their Facebook page and their Instagram as well. You are always going to have a fantastic time, whether it's food at the restaurant, cooking in your cabins, fishing, exploring the nature. There's been a lot of famous people that have come in on that airstrip that you'd be shocked and bewildered, but you'd be amazed the amount of people, famous-wise, that have come in because it's legendary fishing, the best trout fishing in all of North America at Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Live from the Busch Light Studio.
I walked in and said, not my team. I'm burning the tape. Let's move on. Get on the bus fast.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
It would break my heart, break my heart, break my heart if I find out you can't go.
Razorbacks have not been a great defensive team this season.
This is the Morning Rush.
Basketballs bounce, cheerleaders cheer, and fans are flocking to the paint store in Van Buren. The paint store in Van Buren is known for their color matching. The paint store in Van Buren is known for their help with color selection. The paint store in Van Buren shares their expert advice from 35 years of experience. If you haven't been to the paint store in Van Buren, you are missing out. How about you give them a shout next time you need some real-life help you can't get on YouTube?
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using an Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job, and software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades, with purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan, we are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
We're hiring so great people. I'm a Kentucky fan. But I'm not calling to bash you guys. I'm really not.
I just say what I want to say, and if you don't like it, you can hang up on me.
Hey, guys. Hey, Tommy. How was your weekend?
All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years.
We deserve a voice, and thanks to sports radio like y'all have, that's the only way we can get our message out.
Since 1946, no pressure, no hassle, just tradition.
Good morning. How y'all today? If you don't mind, I'd like to talk about something, get you guys' opinion.
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963. The celebration starts now.
I walked in and said, not my team. I'm burning the tape. Let's move on. Get on the bus fast.
Either do that or you just make them watch it over and over again. The good thing is you get Auburn at home later on this season. That might be a team that's ranked, but either way, you get a chance for a little revenge. Maybe you'll see them in postseason as well, whether it's in Nashville or at some other point in time. So as we conclude today's show, I know some of you have hot takes from that game. You're not where you need to be defensively to make the second weekend at this point in time.
No, it's an early exit at this point.
And it's been kind of overshadowed by the offensive output that you've seen from games. And, I mean, if you get, not necessarily, I don't necessarily think that Cal and company would lose in the first round, but if you get the wrong team in the round of 32, and matchups are always a thing in the NCAA tournament, but you gave up 87 points to Ole Miss, and you gave up, was it 94 to Auburn in this 95, in this basketball game. So they've got to shore that up. Right now, you rank 14 out of 16 in the conference in defense. I know you're 2-1. I know that Darius has been fantastic offensively. A lot of straight line drives, a lot of blow-bys in this game. That has to be something. This is a team that has any chance whatsoever to make it to the second weekend or the Final Four in Indianapolis, Indiana. You've got to shore that up. And it's early. Listen, we're 3 games in. They're 2-1, but that's I know Cal and company know that too.
Well, they have the athletes to do it. Make no mistake. They are capable of playing defense at a very high level. You see the Houston Cougars play defense? This team can play defense at that level. They're long enough. They have enough ability. They have the physicality to do that if they want to. It's all about the drive. And I think Coach Cal and these guys was able to motivate the team last year to completely turn it around, offense and defense. I think this year he's going to get them amped up to do the exact same thing. Otherwise, it may not be, a first-round exit tie unless you fall all the way down to the 8th seed and something like that. You have to play the 1 seed in the next game. You never know how things work out. So they got to get the defense fixed. Not too worried about us scoring. We're going to be able to do that most nights. But look, if not, it's going to be a lot longer season than a lot of us had bookmarked for.
As we conclude today's show, a quick kind of synopsis of what apparently happened with Fayetteville High School. Hank Hendricks, quarterback there, and Casey Dick, Ryan Silverfield in Arkansas. Some of you have seen this post, some of you haven't. Young man's gonna reclassify from what was gonna be a quarterback that was gonna play senior year this next season, but now is going to enroll in school early, only going 3 years of high school. I know Casey initially not happy about that, put something on social media, took it off, clarified, and saying that Arkansas is hoping that to see more Purple Dogs becomes Hogs in the future. Just kind of a weird dynamic initially that I saw from this weekend between the prominent flagship university and one of the best high school football programs in the state that's basically on campus at the University of Arkansas.
Yeah, we heard Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation talk about it, though. This is something that they expect to get resolved pretty quickly. It's obviously, yes, a very bad look. It's bad for both parties' public image. You don't want that to happen.
I don't blame either. I don't blame Casey for being mad about losing a senior quarterback.
Absolutely.
And I don't blame Coach Silverfield for trying to get a kid on campus and shore up his quarterback depth.
But I want to see the head coach of Fayetteville High School tweet, "Hey, at SEC coach A, B, C, D, all the way down, you're not welcome in my facility."
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
That would be nice. Oh, man. All right, that's going to do it for us today here on a Hot Take Monday. Tommy should be back with us tomorrow.
Thank
Just
God.
a reminder, his father-in-law, Jack Lucas, passed away, so make sure you keep the Lucas family and then Tommy's family in your prayers. So he should be back with us tomorrow. So for Colton Little, Tommy Kraft, I'm Ty Richardson. Halftime, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Big C, coming up next.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of